What's up, Algebra 1? This is lesson 48. Our objective is how do you analyze sets of data? Or really what we're talking about is measures of central tendency and how do we use them. So what it means to analyze sets of data. So let's talk about a few terms which you probably have seen before, at least some of them, and see if we can remember what they mean and things like that. The first one is mean. Several people use the word average for that. But the word mean is the sum of the data divided by the number of the data. So if you had 5 numbers, you'd add up those 5 numbers and then divide by 5. That's the mean. Another way to look at like an average or the center part of a number is the median. Think about the median of a road. Whenever you have a road and another road, one road's going that way, the other road's going that way. This green in the middle is called the median. You'll see signs that say stay off the median. Good way to remember that is just the median's the middle one. I guess the main thing you have to remember is that you have to arrange them from least to greatest and then look at the middle one. And sometimes if there's an even number, then you would want to find the average of the middle two, and then that would be your median. The mode is the number or numbers that show up the most, or the one that shows up most often in there. And something you may need to note on that is there might be no mode at all. And there could be one, and sometimes there's more than one mode. So if there's 3 numbers that showed up 3 times each and nothing showed up more than that, then you would have each one of those would be a mode. These 3 together are what we call measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendency because they measure things in the middle. Okay, kind of a way to gain information about the whole set of data by looking at a single number. The range is the difference between the largest and the smallest number. So just kind of how spread out the data is. So if the range is really small, that means your data is clustered together. Whereas if your range is really large, that means it's going to be spread out. And then the last term is an outlier. And outliers happen quite often whenever you're collecting data because, I don't know, maybe you're having people rate how much they liked a meal, and most everybody's like, oh yeah, 8 or 9. Some people have to say 7. There's that one person that got a hair in their food or didn't like that kind of food, and they're like 1. And so most everybody says 7, 8, or 9, but that one person says 1, and so it kind of throws off the whole data. It doesn't clump in there with the rest of them like you'd expect, and so we call that an outlier. So let's see if we can use these things that we hopefully remember or have seen before as we look at some data. All right, so this one says find the mean, median, and mode of the values in the data set. Round to the nearest whole number. So the first thing I want to do is maybe just this mean. So to find the mean, I'm going to add those all up. So I'm going to say 35 plus 36 plus 33 plus 38 plus 36 plus 34 plus 35 plus 35 plus 33. And I'm going to divide by however many there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to divide this by 9. We get 35. That's a little bit of help from the calculator there. All right, the median, we're going to need to arrange these from smallest to largest. So let's go here. Let's see, the smallest one looks like 33. So 33, 33, because there's 1, 2 of them. 1, 2. Then I have some 34. And I have 1, 2, 3 35s. So 1, 2, 3. Then I have 2 36s. Since there's 9 of them, I'm looking for the middle one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'm missing a 38. Alright, so I'm looking for the fifth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So notice there's 4 on either side of that. So the median is going to be 35 because the middle one is right there, 35. And the last one we'll look for is the mode. And I'm going to go and just look at this list right here. Notice I have 2 33s. I have 1 34. I have 3 35s, 2 36s, and 1 38. So I'm looking for which one of those numbers is the biggest. Since the biggest there is with 3 of them with 35s, my mode is going to equal to 35. Now, do your mean, median, and mode always come out to be the same number? Most definitely not. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they're actually fairly close to each other, but they do not always come out to be the same thing. On this one, if I had had one less 35, right, if there was only 2 35s, then I would have had 3 modes, the 2, the 35, and the 36, because those would have all had 2 of them. All right, this next one here says, the table lists the total points teams scored in the 2 divisions of the All-Star Football League for 2006 regular season. And I left off the part, it says which side, the north or south, has the greatest range in their point values. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't include that, but that's what it says. Find the greatest range. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the top one here for the north. Let's see if we can find the smallest number. Looks like it's 211, and the biggest number this would be 427 there. So to find the range, I'm going to say 427 minus 211. I'll write it this way. So the range for the north, so the difference between the team that scored the most and the team who scored the smallest is 216. Now let's see if we can find the range for the south. The smallest number is 238, and the largest number is 492. So to find their range, I'm going to say 492 minus 238. So their range is 244. So which one has the larger range? Well, the south has the larger difference between the biggest and the smallest score. Alright, it says the following data shows the high temperature in degrees Fahrenheit for the first 15 days in July 2007 for Seattle, Washington. Identify any outliers in the data set. Most of the time, the easiest way to find outliers is to arrange those from least to greatest. Kind of like we're going to find the median. So that's what I'm going to do now. Voila! So you can notice here that most of these numbers down here are pretty close together. Right? That's just 1 apart, 2 apart, same number, 1 apart, 2 apart, same number, same number, same number, 3 apart. From here to here is 2 apart, from here to here is 3 apart. But notice from this number to this number is 9 numbers apart. So all the rest of these are really close together, and 9 may not be odd if all of them are 9 apart, but since all the rest of these are 1 or 2 or 3 apart, the fact that these two right here are 9 apart means that this 98 is an outlier. So it says identify any outliers. I would just say 98 or circle it. So 98 is an outlier in the data set. So now part B says describe how the outlier affects the measures of central tendency. So we're going to find the mean, median, and mode with and without that outlier. So you can see with the 98, it comes out to be that number, and there's 15 of them. Without the 98, you get this number, and there's only 14 of them. So when you divide them, this one you get 81.73. This one you get 80.57. So that's a change of about 1.15, 1.16. Next, median. Should be the middle number. So there's 15. It would be the 8th number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so over here it'd just be 81. Over here it'd be the average of these two because you didn't have that one. But 81 plus 81, so the median is over here is also just 81. And then the mode. The mode is the one that shows up the most, and notice there's 5 81s in both sets. So the mode over here is going to be 81, and same thing over here is going to be 81. So the change on both of those is 0. So most of the time, it will change most of the time it will always affect the mean the most. Sometimes it will affect the median slightly, but it pretty much never affects the mode. It's possible for it to, but pretty much never. So mean and the median will be affected by that. Your homework is there on page 301. You need the lesson practice, all the 48s, 47s, and 4 more of your choice.